First, it was the White House. Now the Democrats are taking on drug companies. The House Oversight Committee chairman sending letters to a dozen companies asking for detailed information about their pricing practices. Will the Hill's battle over drug prices ultimately hurt healthcare stocks, Tim?
You know what? I just feel somewhat kind of worn down by this whole conversation for the sector. I think the most important thing for the sector remains valuations. It remains certainly pipeline. In some cases, some companies that just at some point the balance sheet became too compelling in a world where we're giving back a lot of capital. And frankly, markets were in a defensive mode, and these were the best names to play. That remains to me the most important story. I've heard it from both sides of the aisle, and it gets a little tiresome. I'm not telling you that I think drug prices are a wonderful thing for the American people. So let Congress do their job on this. By the way, they're barely doing their job on anything right now. So you know what? I think this continues, and I don't think it necessarily is why you want to trade this sector. There's nothing I've heard in this conversation that changes my view.
They can't agree on a border wall, but they certainly can agree, both sides can, that drug prices are too high. I mean, that's something that has not changed at this point. And you have the state of California now coming into this debate saying, we want to use our position as the most populous state to try and negotiate better drug prices as well. They're feeling it from all different levels of government at this point. Are you concerned about that? Or have things changed enough for you to start getting concerned?
I mean, I share Tim's point of view that it's great. It's great politics, actually. I'm so skeptical about their ability to get anything done, and they haven't been able to in the past. Why has it over and over and over again these efforts have failed? Maybe California is a little different. If you think the drugs priced in already, that skepticism, then they're probably a good place to hide.
Yeah, I would just add one point. I think there's very few issues that are as unique as drug pricing, where it's just populist and it works on both sides. And if there was ever going to be some sort of compromise, this would be a place that I don't think there's too many voters out there who'd be disappointed about it. It's not ideological unless you're a pharma lobbyist or a pharma executive.
All right. Well, Pete here thinks that one of these names is going to come out ahead in the battle over drug prices. So why don't you head over to the plaza and give us your fast pitch?
Well, and Tim brought up a couple things. He was talking about valuation. He was talking about pipeline. I'm going to be talking about the same exact thing. And that's what makes this so great, I think, because we can't control those things that are going on in Washington. We obviously listen to them. But I got to tell you something. Pfizer, this is a really great company. They had a great 2018. And we'll have to see if they're going to be able to repeat that, maybe even do a little bit better in 19. It's going to be very difficult. But I'll tell you what I really like is brand new CEO in there. He's been with the company for over 25 years. He likes the way things have been running. He was the COO. He was in the innovation side as well. But I think because of his background, we already know who he is, and they're not going to go out and look for massive acquisitions. They'd rather find some bolt-ons that are out there in phase 2 and phase 3. So because of that, I think you're very solid there. How about the strong fundamentals? This is a company that for the last decade has free cash flow of anywhere between $15 and $17 billion. I mean, this is a company that fundamentally, when you look at the 3.4% dividend yield, the buybacks, they've shrunk their share count by 14% over the last decade as well. So this is a company that is very committed to you, the shareholder. That's why I've owned it as long as I have, which is probably going on about 12 years now. I'll tell you what, this pipeline really does excite me. Now, there's not a lot of growth in revenues right now. You look at earnings, all the rest of that. But when you look at the pipeline and you see 25 to 30 drugs in the pipeline by 2022 that likely are going to make it to market, at least they think so, 15 of them are in the blockbuster category. That really says a lot to me. When you look at that, Tim talked about pipeline, I'm talking about that. I think that is what you really get excited about right now.
Hey, Pete, talk about this product. You are talking about the product pipeline. And in fact, I think this is the place where you get re-acceleration. Is there a name in that pipeline that gets you most excited for the kind of short to medium term?
Well, I got to tell you this. Here's the important thing as well that I didn't mention was 4 different drugs in the cancer area actually got approved last year. They are getting the fulfillment that they want out of their phase 3. And oh, by the way, they're spending $8 billion every single year on R&D. So this is a company that's committed, and I think they've got a lot of depth within that pipeline, Tim. So I don't know that I pull out any one specific drug right now.
All right. How much do you think the market has priced in fear of drug pricing being an issue?
Yeah, they probably haven't, Karen, because when you look at what's going on with this stock, it actually had a pretty amazing run towards the end of last year. Really nice 2018. We haven't seen a run like that in quite a long time. But it got a little choppy in here, and obviously between the president and now, as we're hearing from the Democrats as well, coming after the different drug pricing thing, I think that's an issue. I think that you can't just say, hey, that's something you can't look past. But I think at the same time, you've just got to realize right now that when you look at the fundamentals, we know the fundamental story, and I don't think that part's going to change, particularly in terms of the pipeline and what really is coming till 2022.
No more questions here.
Yep.
Time to vote. Are you buying Pete's pitch on Pfizer? Dan, what do you say?
Good pitch. I think the whole pricing issue, I'm not a buyer, though. I think the whole pricing issue, and I think the potential for a large acquisition is one of the things that could make it have a worse 2019 other than that great 2018.
You're afraid that it's going to buy something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Karen.
I would pass also because of the drug pricing issue. However, if I were to be in the space, this is probably the one, this or Merck would be where I'd go.
Tim.
Well, I tell you what, Pete, I'm in there. I guess I don't matter anymore, but I'm a buyer. I think it's a very important stock for the market we're in, which, frankly, the risk around this market doesn't change. I think there will be costs attached to new product launches, and that concerns me on the bottom line.